Hey, Tim, how we going? Is it working? Is it working? Are we back? Is it strong? If that's not proof what happens when you say certain things, team, there you go. There you go. Here's a statement for you. Bam. Up. Here we go. Who we got over here in comments? We've got a few of you intelligent individuals here that are giving me some of your time on a Friday night. I just went and paid a lot of nicker for a daddy-daughter date leading up to probably having mum and dad spaghetti already on my shirt 8 Mile by going to Luna Park on the Sunday, right? And then going to take her for another big dinner. I can't wait. Time spent with your kids always pays you back, so you think. Guys and gals, just wait for a couple more people to jump on. How's it looking now? Does it sound okay? Does it look okay? The best soldier is a capable soldier, not a political soldier with lowered standards. As a matter of fact, the very thing we're not allowed to have is a political opinion view to the outside world. We've got individuals from the hierarchy that are allowed to have Twitter, allowed to make public announcements, allowed to put your kapuka, okay, on Facebook, on YouTube, but you're not allowed to put a picture of yourself on your grandma's page? What does that sound like to you? Sounds a little bit red corn chip to me. There's no real reason. No one's ever been able to explain what's going on. Don't know. If you think it's just about me, g'day, survival man. Someone's got to say it, team. And I'm wearing the double denim. And when the double denim's on, you know it's on. Simple as that. Bone-handled knife, deer hunter. I'm full of shit. I wouldn't kill a deer. I'd pat one. I'd run one over maybe, but not in the van. Dog breath. G'day, Kaz. Anyone going to Perth? Irwin Barracks. Open day tomorrow. We'll work that up there for you, dog breath. There you go. Wingnut. G'day, buddy. Some Kent. G'day, mate. Jake, spelt wrong. Makes me worry for when I join, to be honest. Don't, Jake, don't. The politics is not inside the units. It's not, mate. You're too busy preparing for war. Okay? Don't worry about it. Perfect time for a stream. Kaz just got on a break. Well, that's fantastic. Rams 47. Are you actually 47? I think we saw Sahara Sands back here too. Now, that is a scary way to spend Father's Day. Kaz, can you take my daughter for driving lessons tomorrow if you want? I'm sacred. You meant scared? I get it. That's why the women go to the armoured vehicle CAV, because you can't dent them. Daz. Very corn chipish. Yep, I had to explain what the corn chip is. Absolutely. Sorry, guys. I've got a lot of messages coming in at the moment. I can't get to answer those unless it means that the sound has gone off. That's the only thing I can really respond to other than my daughter's phone calls naturally. In case you're wondering, is it just Kaz that's speaking crap? Is this my version of events of what's going on? Here's a video for you. Let's go and see what a retired officer that got the military medal in Vietnam, what was his experience with this? Wait a second, Miss Jane.
He's now written a letter to the Prime Minister.
Oops, here we go.
To another issue I covered a couple of weeks ago. A retired senior officer, a war hero, by the way, as well. He's now written a letter to the Prime Minister in protest at this, the Defence Force now allowing Captain Jesse Noble, a man, to wear a dress and nail polish, which he says better expresses his new gender fluid identity.
Discharge. I don't need to know anything more. Gone. Get out. And that goes for every single one of you in comments, and it would have gone for me too. If you make the army about you as an individual, go. It's about a team. You do fitness just not to save yourself on the battlefield. It's so that I can carry Carl, so I can carry 6 knots, so I can carry Nicole. You know, when Nicole does overtime, it's not because she's doing it for herself. You don't get paid over time for what she does. It's to be able to help some poor bastard, who's got himself in a jam and needs help now, whether it be with the pen or whether it be with the rifle. That's what it's about. Okay, let's get back to it.
Well, joining me is the author of that
Disgusting.
letter to the Prime Minister, Brigadier Adrian de Hage, winner of the Military Medal in the Vietnam War and now a best-selling novelist. Brigadier de Hage, thank you so much for joining me. What is your problem with the Defence Forces letting a male officer express their gender fluidity by wearing a dress?
Well, the Australian Army have now issued orders that allows male commanders to parade in female uniforms, wearing a dress, makeup, earrings, nail polish. And essentially that means that servicemen...
You can wear all the makeup you want every goddamn day if you want, and it's called cam cream. There you go. Put that in your pipe.
They don't have a choice. They're compelled to follow commanders that turn up in dresses. Now, look, I suspect the great majority of serving men and indeed women don't have a problem with the very small number of men who are non-binary, who don't identify as either male or female, or who are gender fluid.
I actually do. As soon as you show that you've changed your contract, you shouldn't be in the military.
Depending, they wake up one day and feel like a woman, wake up the next day feel like a male. In normal civilian community, but the Australian Defence Force is different. Now, as we've seen so tragically with the Taipan helicopter crash a little while ago in the Whitsundays, they put their lives, along with other first responders, on the line every day of the week.
Yeah, but what's wrong? A soldier, I guess, could still be an efficient killing machine, even wearing nail polish and lipstick. What is it about doing that makes them...
Boys and girls, you've got to understand one thing. When you join the military, and I was in for a goddamn long time, you're going to share a pit. You're going to share a patrol house, a forward operating base, shared accommodation with people for prolonged periods of time with no computers, with no phones, with no electronics. All you've got is each other and your ability to communicate. You cannot have someone who's already fractured, who's already having internal battles, who already hates themselves so much that they want to change it all from the day they were born. If it offends them, so be it. But we have to be discriminative in having the A-team on the ground to save the day when it matters. And even though on the most successful day, we can still lose a phenomenal amount of our call sign. Yep. Ask the 10th light horse about that.
Less efficient on the battlefield.
Well, it's got nothing to do with their intellect. They might be highly competent.
Yep.
But as I said in my letter to Prime Minister Albanese, I'm having a great deal of trouble imagining the reaction of the men the day I took over command of the 6th Battalion, if I waltzed up in front of them wearing a dress.
6th Battalion, Long Tan platoon. He was in Vietnam. I wonder what year he was there. He got the military medal. Must have been part of something. Might have even been Long Tan. Guys and gals, remember that everyone is in the military. Air Force, Navy, and Army is there to support infantry, the ones in the most danger. Those whose very job is to seek out and close with the enemy, to kill or capture him, to seize and hold ground, to repel attack by day or night, regardless of season, weather, or terrain. We don't get time for purple shirts. We don't get to choose our team. All we do is be the best version of ourselves, to know that one day that when I'm trying to get my buddy out of hell, that I might have the strength, the stamina, the repetitive training to be able to get him out of there safely within the golden hour and give him back to his mum.
Earrings, makeup, and nail polish. Now, it's about respect and morale. I have no doubt that the regimental sergeant major and RSMs and NCOs are the backbone of the Australian Army.
Thank you,
He
sir.
would have had to remind the men that mutiny is still punishable by firing squad. And it is. They've never taken it off the books. It's Section 98 of the Defence Act of 1903. And he would then have followed that by knocking on my door with, "Could we have a word, sir?"
Yep.
Is this the difference then? Like in civilian life, you can say, look, someone, a man turns up at work or whatever wearing nail polish lipstick, says, I'm now non-binary, or I've changed my gender or whatever. And, so what? People got to get used to it.
Okay. So thank you, Linda Lee, for asking this question. I don't know whether what it means to you, but it means basically being an ally of the LGBT community. Okay. And basically what occurred was the ADFA trainees, some of them 17 years old, were told if they don't wear purple to show their support for someone's sexual fetish or choice or lifestyle, that while wearing their uniform, they were going against the values of the Australian Army and therefore could be disciplined. That's not a lawful order. It's not. And it would have been a very scary moment. Okay, if someone said, okay, let's go all the way to the top with this one, 60 minutes, but they won't touch this. What do we got?
Work around it, whatever. It's none of their business. But in a military sense, you have to actually command the respect of the soldiers you lead as an officer in this case. You have to form a very tight, mutually supporting unit for that will survive warfare.
And I'd like to do a quick call out to some of the most amazing officers that I believe served in the Australian Army. And some of them were Navy and Air Force while in Rwanda. To all of those that are out there that aren't allowed to have, pardon me, a comment, I'd like to say thank you for your service. Some of them done a really good job, and we don't know what they did behind closed doors to support their men, and we'll never know. So don't believe if you don't hear something happen that there's not trouble, happening in the background amongst the officers as well. That'd definitely be occurring. And you know what? I do not believe that anyone should have to take the orders of someone once they wear transgender clothing or the opposite. There's something fractured there. That's now everything they say other than pass the salt is an unlawful command in my eye. You got to go. It might sound brutal, but guys and gals, that's what I did for 24 years. Okay, and we do not have time for politics amongst ourselves, let alone the rules of engagement and what the enemy brings to us as a command or tactical dilemma. Let's keep it as simple as possible, shall we? And it's a deliberate action to also come out of the closet or to start to push ideals onto people. This also leads me to, I'll ask this question in a moment, actually.
It's something different is going on there, isn't it?
It is very different. And respect and morale are key elements in a fighting force.
Yep.
This sort of policy is going to have widespread implications. Firstly, it's going to affect our reputation. Can you imagine if we had...
This next bit you're about to hear should be absolutely crystal clear on why this can be a real drama. Okay? Crystal clear. And if someone cannot understand what this Brigadier Medal of Honor recipient from the Vietnam War is saying, then I hate to tell you, you're probably fractured as well. There's not two sides to this story. There's one, and it's those that carry the weapons.
A male officer turn up to a conference in the Pentagon, for example, wearing a dress and makeup and earrings and nail polish.
Secondly, that's not a very good example, Brigadier, because the US has got now an admiral, I believe the rank is, of a transgender woman.
Would not be doing what that person says.
So that may not be, under the Biden White House, a very good example. But listen, maybe try Israel or try Russia or try China, and I think you'll get a really good argument there. Any response to your letter to Anthony Albanese?
Well, no, and the Prime Minister is.
This is the danger. Okay, this is the danger. Now we've got fine young people that are starting to second guess what is going on. So this is where there is professional reputational destruction occurring that is watering down the footsteps of the Anzacs. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. They're creating a dilemma for themselves. Recruiting has failed. Recruiting at the moment is failing. It is way too long. We let too many fish out of the net. What I'd say to you, Featured Pixel, is the Army is a fantastic institution. Do not change it, mate. Don't get it caught up or twisted. Still join. It's excellent. Okay, but my fear is if we have non-combatant people, and when you look at every tier of leadership, one below it is a female leader that's never been in a combat role, that is about to get ready to step up and absolutely swamp the social media and politics of the Australian Army. I don't want someone who's never walked in a trench telling me it's time to go to the top of mine. And I think that's fair enough. Fair enough.
Busy with other issues at the moment. I would expect a response, though, eventually from his office. But given the fact that I sent it to him and the two ministers and the secretary and the service chiefs, it's gone viral through various outlets. But look, the responsibility for this is social engineering. We are pandering. The Defence Forces I've indicated is very, very different. We are pandering to fringe elements of society, which is fine in normal society. But the responsibility for this rests on the Chief of the Defence Force, Angus Campbell's desk. And if...
Oh, bam. Yep. Well, that's a shot straight over. That is a shot straight over the fence saying, what are you going to do about it? Yep.
He ordered this, or if he hasn't stopped it, he quite frankly should resign. Now, he's not going to resign because I appear on, as influential as your program might be, Andrew. He's not going to resign for that reason. But if he doesn't, then the Prime Minister and the Minister ought to terminate his appointment. Because you cannot have a defence force allowing male...
That is a man that I would follow anywhere. That is a man who talks with poise. He is Raytel. You know, he has pauses in his conversation, rhythm, speed, volume, pitch. For those from SIGs, Buckaroo getting excited. You know, if this guy told me to do something, I'd do it because I know he doesn't dilly-dally around. I know he's going to tell me, Kaz, you're a dickhead. When I am. Sometimes.
Officers to parade in dresses and makeup. It just doesn't work.
Well,
Preach.
Brigadier Darget, let us see if you do get a response. I'd be very interested to know what it'll be. Let us know. And as you say, your letter has gone viral, so a lot of people have taken a great interest in this. Thank you so much for your time.
No, it's my pleasure, Andrew.
Bam. Guys, how good was that? How good was that? That's what leadership sounds like. Saying what people don't want to hear, holding people accountable. Exactly what it should be. This is what the Australian Army is about. It's cold steel. At the end of the day, it can be smiles. It can be giving kids hugs and Australian flag patches. But at the end of the day, it's all capability. Do you have the right to carry it? Carry it where, Kaz? Carry it to a country, Kate, what? No, to carry it beside me. If I carry this and I'm fitter than you, faster than you, can shoot better than you, what are you doing about coming and watching my back? If I can already cover yours, don't be selfish. Thank you for that, Carl P. Dave Penson. There you go. He was Captain 6R's second tour of South Vietnam. And Dave Penson's in Vietnam right now, Do we have any new members? I can't actually see the what's happening. Joined a little late. G'day, Elite Sniper. Sorry, mate. Sorry, Matt. I'll have to call you after. G'day, Dave. How old are you? Don't know what that about. Reckon Ukrainian men are carrying on like this at the moment? No, Mr. Buckaroony. No, I do not. I do not. Dave, the army's changed a lot since your time, but at the same time, I still believe we've got some of the best soldiers that have ever worn a uniform that are about to enlist tomorrow, the next day, etc. We just had platoons march out today at Kapuka, getting ready to go to Singleton on Monday. I hope they turn up prepared. We've got guys that are getting ready to do their hardcore next Friday. We've got guys at the moment from Coral Platoon about to go to their battalions on Monday. So that's going to be fantastic. Those guys are going to Old Faithful, the 3rd Battalion. Well done. Capion Day. That's their battle honour. 24th of April, the day before Anzac Day. Better be able to hold your liquor, son. Majority must fight back, folks. Keep the faith. Yep, just sitting still. Leadership sometimes fails for a while, but then it ultimately gets picked up. What do we think about the this new style? Do you prefer this over the last style, or do you prefer the floating head using Stream Labs over what we're in now, which is StreamYard? I won't keep you too much longer. You've been very patient today. Good to have a bit of ambition, but make sure you walk before you run. Absolutely, guys and gals. If you look in the comments, if you need that one-on-one counselling, bam. I can hardly fit in another phone call a day, but you're going to take it when you can while it's hot and you're helping people out. There's guys and there's girls almost daily, burning my phone up, and I'm getting a lot of good news, including one fella who looks like he's about to sign a 9 to 11-year contract as a pilot, and his missus is also found out on the same day that they're pregnant, and it's not mine. What's happening here? Okay. Okay. Terence Trent Derby. Please, what are we saying here, mate? Please go into general infantry before attempting commandos. It's a different ball game, like going up a hill compared to scaling a mountain. Terence, you give an awesome advice there, but what is that, a filthy Raffy playing in the background, or is it Qantas to still call Australia home? That's something that upset me too, team. We just had one of my mates come back from 9 weeks overseas, and when he came back with Qantas, they don't play I Still Call Australia Home anymore. What's going on there? Is that because there's an Irish guy from the LGBT community that's actually the CEO of the company? Don't know. Hey, Peppers. Thank you for supporting my time here, team. Guys, it's, what did I say up here? Something about acid wash jeans. This channel doesn't run itself for free, team. It doesn't. And, hey, I've got something beautiful to tell you right now. Wait 2 seconds. There we are. Guys and girls, I've got a picture of the car that our channel bought for the gentleman in India. Where are we? Now, it mightn't be your choice of car, but this is, I believe, is his family's first car. Our channel put the money together, and 4 months of working on YouTube. I put every single cent of that into this, and that's the car that he got, his family's first car. That's Chanda. That is the result of your faith in what I do for you. So we bought a car for him. Well done. He's got 2 daughters. He's got a missus, and he's got a kid, a boy. They can't all fit in the Suzuki Swift, but this is going to be a work car for him. In India, we've just taught a man how to fish, so now he can feed his family. Thank you very much. Nutsu Cow. White Warrior, that's what it's all about. People power. I can't be a dickhead on the microphone all the time and not help people. Yeah, you can get away with a lot when you're a dickhead, but as long as you help. And Kaz and team, that's why we support Team Kaz. Kaz team, 10th Legion. Breathe through your balls. Oh, I didn't see that one, mate. Thank you very much. Turmeric donation right there. Ah, shit. Look at that. Look at that. Breathe through your balls. Thank you very much, mate. Can we get some thumbs up for the donators, guys? It does keep the channel going. Bucko will tell you, it's not easy work when there's no money coming in at all that actually goes into your own pocket to compensate for the thousands of dollars that it costs a year to run a YouTube channel. You know, it's worth it, but because I tell you what, it keeps me on the straight and narrow. The only problem with it is it keeps me out of the gym. I used to look like a man, you know. One day someone's going to ask, what have you done for other people? So somewhere you've got to make a stand and you've got to be able to do something for someone even at the time that it's uncomfortable. I tell you what, when that got up to $6,000, I was very tempted to go, oh, please, just keep it. But I didn't. And I feel better. You know, now I've done one thing in my life. There you go. You didn't want me to show that one probably. Guardian accidentally punched himself while boxing yesterday. That's called a home goal, my friend. Team, put your comments up if you can. If you didn't watch the last video, go and check it out at least for the intro. I cracked myself up too. I've got kids' netball on tomorrow. Yeah. But don't worry, I've got a kid. I'm just not turning up there in my van saying who wants a lolly. For those that don't know, she probably doesn't like being called out. But can we get some thumbs up there for the lady with the silkiest voice on internet, please? We won't say what her name is, but there you go. Hey, what's going on here? It's that time of the month for someone. It's a menstrual cow. Sahara Sand. You put your thumbs up too easy, too quick. Look at this one. Keep Rod Kaz out of Pucker tomorrow. Thank you for everything. Rob, make sure you give me a call tomorrow when it's safe to call you. I'll have the earbuds in. They fit ears like mine. Thank you very much, mate. I'll send you a tampon to clean that donation up. You don't need to go that heavy, team. You don't need to go that heavy. I wish I had 10,000 subscribers and everyone put 50 cents in, and then we could buy a car for an Indian every single stream until, you know, till we created a traffic jam. You know, our next, what is reckon about this? The next thing we want to do for changing lives is I want to it'll probably be in Vietnam, like it's always was meant to be for changing lives. And what I want to do is actually buy someone a food cart business. You know, what do you reckon about that? Who doesn't like watching street food, Asian street food cooking? It's so good. So good. You know, and this time I will take the money with me. I won't be sending it. And I'll be there and I'll put the money in their dirty little hand after I wash it. And we'll watch it all take place. We'll get the interviews. We'll get it all. Guys, giving is one of the best things in the world. I love it. And Mr. Celestia, thank you for your faith in what I do. Peppers, love ideas, Kaz. Everyone loves a street food cart. You know what? I'd work in one myself. One of my perfect thoughts is if someone wasn't to get into the army. You know, imagine one day my own daughter turns around and goes, Dad, I don't want to work for someone. I'd go, no worries. I'll work for you. We'll do a business and I'll be a free employee just to help her be the best version of herself. Entrepreneurs. We've got some people in the last couple of days that have been starting to get into the investing with the ETFs, understand the difference between growth investing and ETFs, dividend investing, all of these different things when you've got time on your side. When I see someone with time on their side make a monetary education decision that is going to pay off in 20 years, I get excited. Very excited. That kind of excited. What's going on here? Breathe through your balls. No more from you, sir. No more. But thank you very much. Comma stars, as I said to Sahara Sand. Guys and gals, unfortunately, we've also got one of our good people at the moment who's just gone into hospital today. I can't tell you anything more about it. Nicole and I know about it, and we just hope that he's doing well. So with Breathe Through Your Balls there, it's a good message to him. I'd say not so cow. Look after yourself. You do need to look after yourself. That's the problem with men. You know, we eat too much of the wrong food or no food at all. Okay, do you still have the old Nutsu cow video? I do, Carl. I'm just not sure where it is. Just not sure where it is, mate. Okay, so let's just time out for a second there. What are your thoughts on this sort of program? Do you prefer this? It seems to be a lot more user-friendly, putting banners up, putting videos up, etc. I quite like it. Could you do a video on the history of the units? It's not really my thing, Peppers. It really isn't. Okay. So Kane Peppers asked, could you do a video or videos on the history of the units? As Mr. Buckaroonie would tell you, that is a really, really big job, mate. A really big job. You know, and what you may not know, guys, is I've had a couple of days this week where I've done more than 6 hours on the phone. That has prevented me from doing a video in the last couple of days, etc. So I really don't get the time to do that, mate. But reaction videos are about to start and they're going to be great. Bravo Charlie says way better. And you know why? Because he's seen his face up here and he's a handsome man. One of the best blokes you've ever met. But before you give him too much props, just remember one thing. He's a cat man. He's a cat man do. I'm a cat man can't. I'm a dog man. But this guy is into cats. That's how in tune he is with his testosterone. Bam. While you're here for 2 seconds, what I want to quickly do, I want to go back to that video. Geez, it made me laugh before. Wait 2 seconds, team. Wait 2 seconds. Where are we? I hope you can still hear me. Music folder. I kicked us off the last one. Where are we? Here it is. Holy shit. What happened when I wasn't looking?
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, get the guy, go.
That's going to be my intro, start and finish, I reckon. It makes me laugh. That doesn't offend anyone. It couldn't. Bradbury, I love what you did in the Winter Games, mate. Sorry to go. He's in Vietnam. You're the same time as us, mate. Stop proving you're old, Dave. You legend. See you later, buddy. What do we got? Bravo, Charlie. We've got Bradbury here. For those that remember the ice skating. Yellow cow. Bam. Thank you very much. Not your cow. That's going to buy some acid wash in Nam. Now, I'm going to wear my green combat jacket over there. See if I can't do a couple of funny things for you. There's a bit of John Rambo. And we've also got Matt Grip and Rip. I don't know if I've seen you on here before, mate. But thank you very much. Not your cow. I think I've actually done my collarbone too. Can't even support an iPad at the moment. Let's take a couple of seconds, bud, to check out those feet of Matt Grip and Rip. What the hell is going on there? Is that a man that's done a pack march in bare feet, walking on only coconut husks across 1/10 of the Nullarbor? Don't know. They're grotesque. That's a man that doesn't wear purple, I'll tell you right now. Mr. Buckaroonie. Well done, Bradbury and Matty. Yes. Not only is it a motivating thing, team, but sometimes you start to think to yourself, am I full of shit? Am I beating up the wrong bush? Am I wasting your time? And these guys are just so goddamn loyal that you turn up here. But if someone's willing to give, okay, their shekels that they would actually be able to spend on a coffee in these hard times, and we are in hard times, and I think it's going to get a lot harder, then I really, really appreciate it. Look at that good-looking bastard. The life of Ziggy. I think I know who that is. I think that's an ex-serviceman that might be a bit of a photographer. Have I got the right guy there? Johnny Diggs. When is the Zero Limits podcast? Johnny, I'm very sorry, mate. I forgot. I've got to send him a bio so that he can actually bring me in so I can drive up there and get it done. I wouldn't have been able to get it done this week anyway because my daughter's mother's coming back from the New York US Tennis Open in the next few days. So I've got to make sure my daughter is there for her mother to make sure that, that compensates her. She's just turned 50, a great woman. She was great enough to tell me, okay, we're kind of done, but there was no shenanigans. Just you got to know what's best for your kids. What this does is visually advertise the weaknesses within the ranks. Senior NCOs should be fighting this shit and instructing ORs to not conform. You can't do that, Brady. You can't. You cannot do that, and I'll explain why. One, I dare say the senior NCOs are absolutely getting their asses kicked. Absolutely. But you cannot endanger one of your men, their career for something that means a lot to you. And like that brigadier said, mutiny is still in the military legal documents that can be punishable by anything up to capital punishment, even if it doesn't exist for civilians. The steak. Great conversation the other day, steak. Sorry, I'll be here with you second, Zane. $8. I'm going to buy some raw chicken in with this so I can munch on that while I'm wearing acid wash jeans at a roller skating, not skate park, roller skating, wired for sound. Hey, Kaz, really appreciate the call the other day. I don't know how you do it. That's what she said. Anyone looking to join is stupid not to join the Patreon. It is good, and I'm sorry I talked your ear off there, my favourite cut of steak. Mate, look forward to our next conversation. It's never about one conversation, team. You come on once, we talk again, we create a friendship. I spoke to people marching out of Kapuka today. One lad in particular, a fantastic guy named James, who used to be a paramedic. And that was great to see him and his mother so upset, watching him march out. Upset as in like happy upset. He started a rolling tradition. Well done, son. And he's in Kapuka right now. Zane, got a diagnosis this week. Heart condition needs more testing. Mate, you're not capable of loving. I'll be medically ineligible and won't be able to appeal. We'll have to find a new way to serve Australia. You know what? That's for me to help you with. Let's find another way. Let's do that together, Zane. Billy Zane. Zany guy. I'm sorry to hear, mate. Can we get some thumbs up for Zane there? He's been trying for a while. And to get this bad news, it sucks. And you know what? It's one of the hardest things I ever see is when someone that's on the bat phone, and we create that relationship, and then they come and tell me there's something they've got, that's preventing them from having the life that they have a calling for. I thought I was going to be a black porn star. Didn't work out. Yeah. Thumbs up for my black porn star career that went down the gurgler. I'm the victim. Right. Sahara Sand, she's still here. Shit. Nicole's still here. It was a pleasure talking to you today too there in North Korea. Here we are. You just hit on something, Buck. Commanding officer is the last rank where you have an RSM to advise, and this stuff comes out from higher than CO level. Now, there's also RSMs, the RSM of the Army. He can have a really stern conversation with people, but ultimately can't force anything. But he can be the death nail in someone's career if he's given advice they haven't taken it. But if you're the RSM of the Army, chances are you're a political guy now too. That's a good point, Carl. I might just identify as a black stripper. Right. All right, team. I think I've taken up a lot of your time now. If you want more, let me know. I can stay on here for a little bit longer if you want. Would you like that? Let us know. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Tell me what you want, what you want. Let me see if there's another video we can put in here This one will be a dedication to all of those that are in love with the Royal Australian Regiment. Where are we here? Here's another good video. Oh, this one. Hey, Peppers, how you
here
going,
into the
mate?
field with 3 Brigade, plus all the critical enabling elements from the
Army. This is the 3rd Brigade. This is the Townsville soldiers. 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Battalion. Yep. The big blue one, as she said. Got to run, Kaz. Thanks for the, tonight. Peppers, boom, Mutsu Cow with a little slap there. Thank you very much, mate. Okay, and I hope this weekend's fantastic for you.
Army, plus the wider joint team, so a whole pile of Air Force assets. And we're putting it all together, taking all the skills of the individuals and the organisations and putting it together in a way that we can fight effectively. What we're doing is we're simulating an operational environment. So we've got an enemy up here in the high range trading area. It's a near peer threat, so they've got many of our capabilities. Our job is to come in to the high range training area and to find the enemy and clear him from the high range training area using all the capabilities that we have.
The final live fire will simulate
G'day, sir.
a battalion conducting an assault onto an enemy objective. We'll be firing danger close missions in support of that. By that I mean we'll be firing 155mm ammunition over a long range to within 400 metres of advancing troops.
A bit of cab for Carl. Well,
This is the culmination of 6 months of training for my unit, working on the individual soldier skills, then bringing them together as small teams, as a unit, and then combining that with infantry, armour and aviation. And that is what we talk about in the Army as the combined arms team.
That would scare me a little bit, Nicole. That would scare me a little bit because I don't think you truly know someone until you see them have a few beers. Yep. Yep. I've got something for you too, Kai Boy. This is for Kai Boy. He's getting spoiled lately. This made me laugh. Sorry, it's a little bit chunky at the moment, team. This is one. Guys and gals, I've got to show this. This is what it's all about. Bam. If you think these days are over with, you know, if I had showed this video before the Ukrainian conflict, you would have thought this can't happen anymore. It's happening right now. It happened today, somewhere in the Ukraine on the Eastern Front. Are we ready? This is from Band of Brothers. Can we get some thumbs up for our US allies as well? One of my priorities is to get Ed B on here with his entire gun collection to show you how he racks them, how he cleans them, you know, and he might even take them outside and shoot them in the backyard, which is bizarro to me that you need a trace to be able to fire a 7.62, 5.56, an 84mm anti-armor weapon system. But if you live at your own house, you can go out the back and fire it in the backyard legally. Now that's crackerjack crazy, but here we go.
Go on the red smoke.
Carl P loves the cold steel. Imagine what these guys' balls are like. They'd be small as sultanas, but they'd clang like they're brass. Platoon commander. That's an FUP they're in right now. That's a form and up point. You put 2 seconds. Tell me why you put a bayonet on, team. Why do you have to put a bayonet on? Is it about telling the enemy that you're going to come and take the actual ground he's standing on? Or is it to tell yourself you're going the whole way? Once we cross the line of departure, it's on. There's no coming back. You can't turn around. You know, the emu doesn't go backwards. The kangaroo can't go backwards. They're on our coat of arms. When you see someone with a bayonet who's coming towards you, you also know that they've been told we're going the whole way And you can bet your bottom dollar there's a 90-degree angle where you're about to get hit from as well. Not as much, Dan. Not as much. You know, because you can still have a weapon, a magazine full, and still use the cold steel. It's a psychological effect on yourself, as well as that of controlled aggression, as well as that of a fear tactic against those that know that you know how to use it. Let's go. Don't want to stab myself here. He went too early.
No, wait for the signal.
You're not going to wait. The platoon commander's going, you go. One in, all in.
Jesus.
That's Logan Paul. Band Brothers team. You may not see any purple during this attack. Gunners expected to keep up. Oh. No one's come to the rescue. These guys do not have the luxury of being triggered by pronouns. It's the real deal. And Australia's next hit out might be this kind of fight, just like's happening between Ukraine and Russia right now. Be prepared, be ready, be dangerous. Seek out and close the enemy to kill or catch him, seize and hold ground, repel attack by day or night, regardless of season, weather, terrain. What makes us lethal is what we do in peacetime, not what we do in wartime. Because you can't just cuff it on the big day. You can never go to a grand final before playing those wet, cold, disappointing losses, those 1,000 games that got you to that stage, you know, where you're now an adult playing with shoulder pads on, with sponsors on your shirt, and now is the HR. This is what it's all been about, whether that's Olympics, whether it's rugby league, okay, whether it's AFL, whether it's soccer, there is a process. 1 in 10,000 Australians, 1 in 10,000 Australians goes to infantry. That's how hard it is to get someone in there to do that job, duty first. Remember, every single person there right now, either the victor or the victim, is there for one reason. Because a politician was unable to communicate properly with another politician. Let's just hope their sons, daughters are supporting the cause.
Holy shit! It's a whole other company! Oh shit!
There we go. Just want to get them off laid fire now.
Easy favorite, easy minor! Reinforce easy phase 1 yellow! +1 strike 3! Fire concentration!
Senior NCOs bet to earn their money.
200 left 100!
When this is all over, team, as a senior NCO, you better make sure that you can go and put your hand on the shoulder of every one of these soldiers. Keep them working. Don't let them rest. Try and ignore the sounds of the screams. You know, because as soon as these guys settle down, their adrenaline is going to dump and they're going to be a mess.
Crouch in the open! Fire for effect! Over! Raus! Snäll! Bitte nicht schießen! Polish! Bisschen Polish! What you saying? He's telling me that they're...
Okay, team. I think we've seen enough of that one. We love it. Imagine how buggered your ears would be. I don't even think you'd be thinking about it, mate, to tell you the truth. My daughter has been asking me recently, can you tell me stories, Dad? I encourage you, if your children ask, if your friends ask, if people ask, talk to them, because you don't know how often when you have a little communication, you make it easier for you to talk about, but also little bits of vent out, and means that the pressure doesn't get all the way to the point you got a powder keg. James, I'm finally back, Kaz. I call shotgun. That's a cow. Thank you very much for the donation, mate. That's going towards some Asian-made acid wash jeans. Thank you, mate. I'm wondering which James I'm talking about. Is this the one that's potentially got some good news today? Might be standing beside his mum right now. I've watched it about 10 times, Band of Brothers. It was an amazing series. It was a great series, Carl. What's better, Band of Brothers or Dexter? What do you reckon? Mick Dave said absolutely. I'll put it up, shall I? Mick Dave absolutely forgot Ear Pro out hunting with a 223. That's a 5.56 millimeter team. Ears were ringing for a few minutes. Cannot imagine how their ears would be. It hurts. Do you know, Mick, when you're in a Black Hawk, if you don't wear Hearing Pro, you can do permanent damage in 15 minutes? Didn't know that. That's a good question. Julian, can you use earplugs in the army? Yes, you can. And also, you're ordered to wear them. You know, we still have OH&S where it matters, mate, except on the obstacle course at the School of Infantry for some reason. We've actually got reactive hearing, Julian. So it's not just something that stops the sound. It's something so you can hear communications. You can hear the grass moving, you know, but what it does is shuts out sudden noises, you know, that can penetrate the eardrum. They're fantastic. Be careful who you talk behind the back of, because if you've got reactive hearing on, you might get compromised. Carl P says Band of Brothers beats Dexter. I wanted to ask the question to you guys, but I don't want it to be now. I want it to be in the next video, and maybe a short video that you can really wrap your laughing gear around and have a debate on. This should only take a minute or so for that question. Maybe I'll ask 3 questions of you guys and see what comes up in comments, and it won't be a stream, so I can get the maximum benefit of the comments section. Mr. Buckaroony, have you enjoyed yourself tonight? Back when men were men and before this garbage crept in. Yep. Having said that, you know, we do meet some really, the Pacific, I'm not sure if that was as good. It was bloodier, but I don't know if it was as good. So I think basically what we can do is have a conclusion. And that is, the simple question is, would you have worn the purple if you had been asked as an officer cadet, who one of the core tendencies is to have moral courage, to not wear the purple and wear the uniform that you're getting paid to wear? You know, the expectation of the taxpayer. Where does leadership start and where does it finish? Leadership starts as soon as the decisions are hard to make. Everyone that claims to have leadership, you know, the time comes, you've got to prove it. And that's when it all changes. Wouldn't wear it, says wingnut. You know, and you know what? Thumbs up to anyone from the LGBT community that also says, no, sorry, I'm my own man, I'm my own woman, I will not do it. I am not going to be used as a weaponized social group, okay, to be able to potentially punish or decide what side of the fence someone sits. You know, are you an ally or not? No. Oh, what's this one? Love Mike Tyson. I do believe the Defence Force should be inclusive and LGBT people shouldn't be perceived as a pressing issue. They shouldn't be mentioned at all. If someone can surpass a high standard and do the job well and be a good team player, absolutely. And you know what? Big Mike, the army is inclusive of LGBT and has been since it was legalized. Now, John Jordan was one of the first LGBT. No, I won't say LGBT. I hate that saying. I hate the group. I don't have a problem with gay people. I can hug a gay man, but he's not going to get a swipe right. You know, the LGBT or gay people have been accepted since forever. Okay, since it was legalized in Australia. It was actually legalized in the army before it was legalized in Australia. Yeah. But there's no need for them to bring it up. It's not a conversation I want to hear about. I'll shake their hand to their boyfriend, but no public display of affection. Just like in the military, a lot of people don't know that you're not supposed to have or not allowed to have public display of affection with your wife. Yeah. It's considered decorum to have some discipline. Yep. So, in answer to your question, do you believe that the Defence Force should be inclusive? Absolutely. And they already are. And they already have been for decades. That's not a problem. This is not about that. This is about actually making it a pressing issue from the left-leaning lens and using that and the privilege of rank, okay, in a way to tread down on the most vulnerable people, and that's new leaders that are scared shitless of failing something, including a degree, you know, and stunting their future on a board of studies because they wore their uniform they're so proud of instead of, okay, wearing purple, which was an order of submission. It wasn't about inclusivity at all. And I reckon everyone knew that. Yep, absolutely. It isn't an issue until you make it an issue. And it was made an issue. And now they probably think, oh, how come there's such a, it's almost gaslighting. Why do people care? Yep. How about we tell vegans you're going to eat steak today? Would that be different? Vegan, you're going to eat steak to show that you're tolerant of carnivores. Okay, what about Islam? If we have any Islamic soldiers, you're going to eat pork to show that you're tolerant of Christians. It doesn't sound so good, does it? But it's exactly the same thing. Why is the supposable people asking for the tolerant always the least tolerant? I give everyone in the world 100 points every morning I wake up. Man in the mirror, Michael Jackson. But it takes until 9 o'clock in the morning before it's already been blown apart, you know, by people acting like dickheads, treating others, you know, in a way they wouldn't want to be treated themselves. Absolutely. Rank is not a privilege, it's a responsibility. Well, it has a lot of privileges. It certainly does. Guardian, homosexuality has been part of the military. As a matter of fact, there's one thing different. It definitely was with the Greeks, because Gaius Marius used to walk out of the Roman theaters. He was equestrian class. He was a Roman, probably one of the most successful commanders they ever had. He was one that made the first ever professional army, Marius's mules. And basically what occurred was he did reforms and made the first army where you didn't need to be a landowner, which makes you want to defend your homeland, you know, and they also got their armor and everything supplied in Rome. And in the Roman legions, they might have done it, yeah, but it was a death penalty if you were caught laying with another man. Did you know that? The L, G, and B need to be separated from the rest. Okay. Thanks, Mike. And I wasn't trying to go against whatever your decisions are, because you guys can be right, and sometimes I get a little bit caught up in it. I agree, sexuality is irrelevant to the job. It's just politics. And you're right. It is just politics, because when we come into the army, the one job that really enforces no fraternization between people, we're not talking about man on man, woman on woman. We're talking about men on woman, on everything, everyone. There's not meant to be any fraternization. And if it ever is to occur, it had better not interfere with the cohesion of a group. And when it does, the shit comes downhill. Funny enough, but there's a lot of officers that enforce the no fraternisation rule but have NCOs as their partners. Very interesting. Compromise. Yeah. Thanks, Big Mike. And if that's actually you, Big Mike, yeah, biggest fan ever. Thanks, mate. Guys and gals, I've been waffling shit. Cucumber sandwich, the officer's mess. Now that is a privilege. Julian, how hard is it to get an SASR? How hard is it to be a brain surgeon? Similar. The stars have got to align. There's got to be an element of luck. You know, no one's ever going to see your victories. You know, and even now, what we've done is we've gone to war against our own. You know, now it doesn't matter what anyone does. No matter how honourable, how righteous, how heroic it is from the SASR, they're going to be tarnished with what 60 minutes unwrapped with the Chief of the Defence Force. Inexcusable, step down. Carl P. Guys and gals, I think we're done for tonight. I hope you've really enjoyed StreamYard. It's a little bit clunky from this side, but if it gives more viewing pleasure for you guys over there, awesome. 10th Legion for those that are considering coming over for one-on-one coaching or that just need someone out there for a second opinion. Come on to Patreon. We'll have a yak. Take it easy. Look after your family. And remember, politics don't go well anywhere. Not in corporate, not in civilian, not in army, not in navy, not in police force. Okay, definitely not in army, definitely not the battlefield. You know, keep it simple. Treat others the way you treat yourself, the way you treat your sister, and ask yourself when you train for the military, for the police force, are you really the battle buddy your buddy deserves? Can you deliver what they deliver for you? And if you can't, start training or get out of the way. Because I believe it's about time for national service. What do we got? Thank you, team. Thank you very much. Thanks, Elite Sniper. Thank you very much. And you look good up there too, mate. I love the fact that we can actually put your comments in up here, team. I really do. It's neat. It's clean. I love it. So with that out of the way, let's get to this one. This is the wrap for this Father's Day. Ready? Hold.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up.